How's it going, everybody? It's your boy Jose, aka TheNYCGeek, aka TNG, aka your Elden Lord, aka the one who set the throne today, aka your tribal chief, aka the guy who just finished watching episode 3 of House of the Dragon. Another wonderful Sunday night. I apologize. I am under the weather right now. I'm not feeling too well. I'm hoping it's just allergies and nothing more than that. But so I'm going to do this brief. We're going to do this fast. Episode 3, before I get into spoilers, before we do a quick breakdown, this episode feels like the last bit of the setting up, right? This is it. Obviously, episode 1 for this season, we had to do a little bit of a recap of season 1, the more important plot points, reintroduction of characters, and obviously dealing with the aftermath of Lucerys' death. Episode 2 was basically dealing with the aftermath of Prince Jaehaerys' death, right? This is it. The pieces are starting to align, and here is where we finally see, this is where we finally kind of see the war spilling out now. Whether sides are intending it or not, whether the rulers are intending for it to happen or not, that's it. War has spilled out. And this is the last episode where I feel like you can kind of do this in terms of the story, because you gotta eventually, you've built up all this buildup, right? And like I've said, I love intrigue, I love story, I love dialogue. That's not like I'm saying like, my God, give me the action now. I'm just saying at this point, the pots come to boil. It's about time to pull the lid. So I think that this is what we're gonna see. We're gonna see the final episode of this kind of build up, because they basically, I'll go into the spoilers a little bit more, but that's what I think. I think it's another good episode. It's not, out of the 3 so far, this has definitely been the weakest. Episode 1 was fantastic. Episode 2 was fantastic. This one felt a little bit more like, almost kind of like a little padding here and there, but it's still good. It still serves its purpose, and I think that episode 4 is where everything's going to come to a head. So I enjoyed it. Let's get into the breakdown. This is a spoiler warning. Let's do this fast, because again, I'm not feeling all too hot. And we start off, I really like the scene. Hold on. Wait. Let me get this real quick. Hold on. I just started reading it. I'm not reading ahead. What's great is that this book is mostly like, a good portion of the beginning is just them recapping a lot of like Jaehaerys' rule, Aegon's rule. I actually like that a lot. It's a little boring. Not because, in the sense that it feels like you're reading like a Wikipedia entry, as opposed to obviously point of view and characters and dialogue. So at times it can be a little like, man, I'm just feeling, I'm reading it. It's a history book, right? But it is cool. I'm enjoying that. I'm liking it. And they actually mentioned something in here that I was like, oh, I know that character. I just read about it in this book. But I'm not going to read ahead because I don't want to spoil. So when I finally get up to where I'm at the show, I won't spoil it. But I won't spoil it for myself by reading the book, because I'd want to see it acted out. I want to see it on the show. But I like this scene. I'm sorry. What I was going to say was I like the scene because in the book, and they talk about it in the Game of Thrones books, this is House Bracken or House Blackwood, one of the two. I don't know which one it is, but because these guys, this is House Bracken. And in the book, they set up, especially I think it was like book 5 or book 4. No. It was book 4 or 5, where they set up really a lot that the Brackens and the Blackwoods hate each other, right? And Jaime tries to come in and break up that dispute between them, and it's here. It's displayed here. So I like them showing other houses, right? It's not just, the big houses. They're highlighting a lot of the other characters and other houses that would be brought up in this soon-to-be massive civil war. Now, we have a Bracken, like a Bracken knight here, and he's very young. He's clearly very young, and he's showboating for his friends. And then we have some Blackwoods that come here, and they start arguing, butting heads, right? Now, what I love is how, he calls him a babe killer, right? And they are on opposite sides, right? One has declared for Aegon, one has declared for Rhaenyra. Now, I want to show you, it's cool, right? Because they set up this thing of the two sides coming close to butting heads. It's very close for them to butting heads. And I'm going to let this play for a few seconds, right? Obviously with no sound, but I want you to see right now the two are close to like, nobody wants to draw the first blood. Nobody wants to fight just yet. Boom. And then the next shot is that same night is dead. And I thought this was great. This was such a crazy shot because you really get a scope. Look at that shot right there. This is going to be my thumbnail. I just decided it. Just like last week I did, or earlier this week I did with The Acolyte. Look at this shot. This is war. War has broken out. Whether Rhaenyra or Alicent want it to be war or full-blown war, it's done. There is no going back from this. And we get that towards the end, and I'll say that towards the end. So yeah, the Brackens and the Blackwoods have fully engaged, and the two sides discuss this later on. We have here a little bit of Rhaenys trying to counsel Rhaenyra. She's trying to counsel Rhaenyra and trying to tell her, like, look, man, like, you don't want, I didn't want to be the catalyst for a war between all this. I didn't want that, which is, she is saying that this is going to be, and the show is trying to say that this is the reason why Rhaenys did not just nuke Aegon and the court, right? Why she killed a bunch of the small folk, but why she didn't kill Aegon, because she didn't want to be the one. And I said that last season, right? That they had said that up there, that she didn't want to be the one to fight, to be the one to declare the war, to start the war officially. But she's trying to counsel Rhaenyra to be patient, or at least to not go all out, right? Because she understands that their dragons are like the nukes. Hold on. Their dragons are like the nukes of this world. They are, if one side launches dragons and the other launches dragons, that's it. It's everybody, every side loses, is what Rhaenys is telling Rhaenyra. The problem is that her men, her council, even her consort, even, her husband is getting tired of that. They want to fight. They want to do this. They want to, get to the war already. Like Rhaenyra, time is not in Rhaenyra's favor. The longer she takes, the more her Aegon is, because whether Rhaenyra is the rightful heir, which she is, or not, appearance is the fact that Aegon is on the throne. All appearances are that he's the actual ruler, that he's the actual king. And so her counsel is basically like, dude, your claim to legitimacy on top of all that, with the actions of Daemon sending those assassins, has hurt your claim even further. The longer you wait, the longer you allow Aegon to rally a bigger force. Remember also that Rhaenyra is on Dragonstone, right? She's on an island. She's not on the mainland the way that Aegon is. So, she's very limited ability to garrison forces, as opposed to Aegon, who does have, obviously, the vast majority of the continent and reach of him. So this is what I'm saying, that this is kind of like this gives you the last feeling of the calm before the storm, right? This is the pieces are like, dude, it says this war is about to explode whether you want it or not. So we get Sir Criston Cole here, and he's noticing, he's like, yo, these guys don't look like any of the King's Guard that I hired here. Like, who are these dudes? Like, I didn't appoint them. And the king is like, yeah, you're goddamn right. I did, because I'm the king, damn it. And sorry about that. I had to sneeze. Whew, my God, that tore my soul. We have a small council meeting. I got to be very careful, because there is a very not safe for YouTube scene in here on this episode. It comes a little bit later on, but anyway, the council, Aegon's council is meeting as well, and they're talking, and they're saying, oh, sorry about that, another sneeze, but they meet with the council, and Aegon's in kind of the same point, but Aegon's much more willing to be like, fuck them, let's fight, as opposed to Rhaenyra, who's trying to be a little bit more prudent about battle. And we have there's a couple scenes here where Rhaenyra talking with the White Worm and trying to kind of like almost get her own Master of Whispers. And we later see the same scene, which is One of the best scenes of this episode was Aegon having that scene with some dialogue with Larys and deciding to make him his own master of whispers. We have Daemon. Let me put this. Daemon is taking Harrenhal, and he goes in thinking like this is going to be a huge fight, and there's like one guard there, and we see the state of Harrenhal. It is in disrepair. Larys Strong is spending more time in King's Landing with his intrigues and the sort than he is in his own, home here. But he's left his steward, and as soon as he shows up, as soon as Daemon shows up, he's like, "I'm claiming Harrenhal." And the guy's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, no, I bend the knee, let's go. Yeah, I'm for you." So we have a little scene there. That's the Harrenhal stuff. I don't want to say it's. I hate lobbying criticism in the sense that I don't want to sound like I'm too harsh with the show. It was the lowest point for me because this was the second lowest point for me. This was probably, like I said, for me, it's the weakest of the 3 episodes. It's not that that's bad. It's not a bad episode in no way, shape, or form. It just felt like the kind of like, all right, let's go. We're padding this out a little bit. But the Harrenhal part felt a little kind of like, yeah, we get some Daemon scene and he's talking, but I kind of want, I just couldn't care as much about it. Maybe because I'm invested in Daemon. I'm not invested in this guy just yet. This family member to the Strong family. So anyway, Sir Criston Cole is sent out. He's sent to rally forces up, and Alicent sends her brother with him. Now, we are at the council, and the council is, again, Rhaenyra's council is getting like, dude, let's go already. Like, can we fight? And Princess Rhaenys tries to tell him, like, look, she's wearing the crown of, I can't remember the exact relation, where she says of Jaehaerys the Conciliator, the one who has brought peace to the realms. And it's like, yeah, but this is not that. There is no peace to be brought. And I'm going to probably skip ahead to most of that. There's some small stuff like the one of the sisters is set, one of Rhaenys' daughters is sent out. Helena gets a little bit of dialogue with Alice, and there's some stuff here, but it's just kind of it feels like it's just tying off some things, and it's like, all right, like I said, we're just tying off these things, we're settling the aftermath, and now we're building to some big stuff here for next episode 4, I believe. This is the scene I was talking about that I really, really enjoyed. I really enjoyed this scene. I don't like Aegon, right? I don't like Aegon because he's a piece of shit. He's an usurper, right? But this is what's great about characters is that some of the fleshed out characters here is that you can find things to like about them, right? Like, and you may not like them overall, but they have some traits. Like, I loved how Aegon truly loved his child and felt so bad and was like, I'm not parading my, he was mourning him. And it just really, it adds some layer and some depth to these characters that you won't ever see on some other shows like The Acolyte. And this is another scene where Aegon is preparing himself, right? He's getting in his armor. He's preparing himself. He's like, I'm going out to war. I'm gonna go ride on my dragon. I'm gonna join Cole, and we're gonna take Harrenhal. And Sir Larys is like, dude, what are you doing? Are you out of your mind? And he's like, you can't do this. But Larys doesn't go like, oh, yeah, you can't do this, Your Grace. He knows how to talk to Aegon. And Aegon actually heeds his advice. He actually is like, and he tells him, thank you. Like he because Larys tells him, if you leave the castle, they're gonna go and they're gonna rule behind you. They're gonna make decisions behind your back, and you're gonna lose the power that you have here. So he kind of sets the seeds of like, persuaded to fly to war with Sir Criston, because he's telling him there's rumors out there that, perhaps they're trying to convince you to go with Sir Criston Cole so that Queen Alicent may reign in his absence. And maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. But So Lara Strong, like I say, planted the seeds with Otto, and it's not like he lied about what he said about Otto when Larys and Aegon talked about Otto. He didn't lie to him. He is telling him, if anything, he might be being the most honest person that's around him right now. It's strangely enough, right? So he's telling him another truth, another ugly truth that maybe Aegon may not want to look at and may not want to realize, or maybe didn't even realize. It's the fact that they are trying to manipulate him, that they're trying to manipulate him to get him out of the way so that they can rule without him there. Keep him busy, keep him doing his own shit. So I really like this scene. This was a good scene. This actor, man, dude, this guy is great, man. This guy for Aegon. I mean, everybody, right? Everybody in this goddamn show is. But Aegon's actor, like, look at this. Look at just that small. I'm sorry. I said I didn't want to drag it on. I don't. But like, look at this small little touch right there with his eyes right there, with Sir Larys's eyes. I want you to see. He looks at him. You see that how he kind of like looked a little bit. Man, there is such subtle acting there with facial expressions. It's so good, man. But he's like, he tells him like, you, and even if this isn't true, even if these lies aren't true, he's like, you gotta nip this shit in the butt because they can grow on their own. And this is the part right here where he tells him, he's like, Lord Larys, and I'm telling you, like, I like Aegon because they could have easily made this guy another Joffrey Light, right? But they didn't. They really are showing that there is a depth to Aegon. He may be in the wrong. He is still a piece of shit who has done some horrible fucking things. But there is depth to that character. And this is his way of saying thank you. Where he's like, my father said he had no use for a master of whispers, which, listen, I love Viserys, but that's some crazy shit right there, right? You need a spy master. And he tells him, I find myself wanting for one. That's a big honor right there. He is to be the master of whispers is not a small, I should be glad of your talents. I love that, man. Like, that is not a small honor to bestow on people. That's not, obviously every seat on the small council is a huge honor, but a master of whispers, you are information, any war, I'm reminded of an anime called Dr. Stone, right? Where Senku's building, it's too long. I won't go too deep into the anime, but the main character is building a cell phone. He is building a cell phone because he talks about how the most important thing in war, one of the most important inventions that mankind has made is the gathering of information. Like, that is so crucial. And a spy master is that for a king. Spy master is keeping him appraised of threats that they may not even know of. I like the scene right here where he tells him, like, this is his Kingsguard, which are obviously his buddies, right? These Kingsguard are his pals. And I love this part right here where he's like, you're sworn to chastity, man. Like, you, what? You guys can't be doing that kind of shit. And they're like, yeah, of course, Your Grace. And he's like, no, man, I mean it. Yeah, I love Aegon's face, man. I love Aegon's face. This actor's so good. And they're like, oh, we're sorry. Okay, we didn't know you actually meant that. But then Aegon's like, I'm just kidding, guys. I got you. But this right here is great. This shot right here, where he looks at himself, he's looking in the mirror, and you could take this in so many ways. That armor that he's wearing is his father's armor. That armor is Valyrian steel. That is no joke. And that is Aegon the Conqueror's armor. And he was trying to be that role of Aegon the Conqueror, going out there on the dragon, which, again, I'm reading in the book, you get so much more of who Aegon is. And I'm loving that, right? So you're finding out so much more of Aegon. And Aegon was not, honestly, I'm reading the book, and Aegon was probably one of the best kings they've ever had. He was a generally good king. and he cared about bringing peace. But when he needed to, he went out there and he whooped some ass. He gave people a chance to bend the knee, but he was out there whooping ass. And Aegon was trying. Aegon the second is trying to be that by putting on his great grandfather's, I don't remember how far off he is, armor, but at the end of the day, that's not who he is. And he's looking in that mirror and he's realizing, like, yeah, I can put on the clothes, but the clothes aren't making the man. Or I could put on the armor and the armor isn't making the man. And that's some good stuff, man. That intro, looking inside, what would you say? Introspection? I don't know if that's the word I'm trying to think of, but just him reflecting inside and realizing that, like, I love that, man. That's the level of depth that this show has, man. And he looks and he's like, I'm not, you could see that. You could see that he's realizing that. So yeah, this show had this episode. Now this is, oh man, thank God. Okay. This is the part that I kind of, like I said, the Harrenhal part, I was not very interested, and I sure as hell am not interested in this thing right here. This ghetto with Geralt. And that's not fair to say. This is a character named Ulf, and I'm sure he's gonna have some relevance, right? Because they mention him, but he is like he says he's a bastard. He's a Valyrian bastard. He is a Targaryen bastard. Now, at this point, I don't know if he's shooting the shit. I don't know if he's kidding. What? But like, Aegon shows up and everyone's like, he's like, yo, drinks on me. And that, of course, makes everyone lose their minds. Now, I cannot show the next scene. I can only tell you that they go to a brothel. And Aegon brings, the guy to the brothel. And I'll show you this. I can show you this. He stumbles upon Aemond with that prostitute, the person that he lost his virginity to, the one that he seems to be very attached to. And Aegon starts mocking Aemond because Aegon's drunk. And Aemond, I don't know, I wish I could show it to you. I can't. Aemond like flops out his dick. There's like full frontal nudity in it. But even butt naked, man, this dude still, like, he cuts off a tough figure, and he walks out. He tells him, like, he doesn't want to show that attachment. He's like, one whore is as good as the other. You're welcome to her. And I don't know if that's him cutting off the attachment to her that he had, because she may have been maybe the only person that he confided in, the only person that he, I don't want to say trusted, but he has pillow talk with her. So he does trust her to a great extent, right? And I don't want to, it's an exaggeration to say it's a vestige of his humanity. It's not the last vestige of his humanity. Aemond isn't a monster. He really isn't, at least not yet. He may have done some shitty stuff, but he's not Aegon. He is nowhere near Aegon's level. And you can truly see that he did regret killing Lucerys. He did. And you saw that in season 1. So, but I feel like Aemond right here is killing the boy. I think that him walking out from her and seeking that almost motherly love from this whore, and it was like the boy inside of him, and him being like, I'm walking out on this. That's it. He's killed it. He's killed the boy. That's it. He is now just full blown. I'm done with this. Now I have to be cold. I have to be mean. So yeah, this was another great scene. That's why I talk about this show, that I'm like, yo, you don't need nonstop action. You really don't. You don't need nonstop action. You don't need crazy back-to-back fighting, because you have great character development with things like that. There's a scene, we're getting towards the end. There's a scene where Rhaenyra's niece or something, she spots Cole, and they find out that Cole is amassing an army and bringing it towards Harrenhal. Daemon has a scene in Harrenhal, and I don't know what's going on. He's like hallucinating. He's going crazy. I don't know if he's hallucinating. I don't know if Harrenhal is. They say that Harrenhal is haunted, So I don't know if he's haunted by what's happening. But at the very end, the last scene is Rhaenyra sneaks into King's Landing. He sneaks into King's Landing because she says, I need to, and this is the final scene. And this is what we were talking about at the beginning, where I said that this feels like the end, right? There's no going back anymore. Rhaenyra sneaks into King's Landing and she dresses up as a Septon. And she's Septa. And she's dressing up as a Septa because she says, I need to talk to Alicent. Because remember, Rhaenys is trying to counsel her to try to find peace. Try to find a way to mend this. It has to be a way, right? To go back. And Rhaenyra is like, I need to talk to Alicent. I need to talk to her one-on-one, face-to-face. Raven's not going to do. I need to do this face-to-face. So she sneaks in because there is only one place where she can find Alicent alone. And that is at the Sept. So the two talk, and it is very clear that, and she tells us, I've come to see if we may uncover some path towards peace. And Alicent's like, so are you like here to surrender or something? And she's like, no. He's like, there's no terms. He's like, there's no terms that are going to be made to this. You have no army. And Alicent starts to shit on her. She's like, you have no army. The realm decries you because of what you've done. In which Rhaenyra's like, I didn't do that. That's not my fault. And then she throws back in her face, you know, your son killed my son. Okay. So it's not like your hands are clean either. And at the very end, and this is what I'll end with the last shot here, which, I hate when you go too far and get in House of the Dragon. Sorry about that. I was sneezing up again. But I hate when you go too far in House of the Dragon and it brings the credits up and then it shrinks the screen. I'm like, what the hell? I can't click on it. And it takes my smooth brain a bit to realize that. But this is the final scene right here, right? This is the final shot. And this is another thing that really dawned on me. And this is the show coming full circle. The first season when they were still kids, remember how Rhaenyra and Alicent used to spend time in the Sept together. So it is symbolic that when they were at their friendship, at the peak of their friendship, that was where they would spend time together. And Alicent was trying to help Rhaenyra mourn her mother and showing her like, you know, maybe faith can help you the way it helps me. And here we are, they're adults. And this might be the end of any chance of their friendship, right? It comes to an end at the Sept where their friendship used to be, where it was at its peak. So this is a full circle kind of thing here. And Alicent has left her and basically been like, there is no chance of peace. Like, it's done, dude. Like, it's war. It's war. And I think we see here Rhaenyra and this actress, Emma Darcy, dude, she is top notch, man. She's getting up there. If you know me, if you know me, my favorite actress, hands down, is Ava Green. But this lady, she's getting up there, man. She's climbing up the ranks, and she's just phenomenal. But I just want to show you her again. Focus on her eyes, the facial expressions. Look at, like, you can see that she's almost like trying to, like, she's in her head, like, is this it? Like, she's reviewing her options. What can I do? Is this really it? And then, you know, I think, and then you can see her right there. The way her eyes harden, the way her face hardens, where she realizes right there. That is the face where she's like, then it is war. She doesn't say anything else. It ends with that. That's the last shot we get. But that right there is her basically saying, I tried. It's war then. Let's go. War, it's time to do fighting, to really let the dragons out. So anyway, I really liked it. A good episode. Out of the three, it was the one that I felt like, all right, let's finish this up. But you know, I truly think that next episode is when we're finally gonna, because the armies are gonna come to a clash at Harrenhal. You know, Daemon's there with his dragon, and Sir Criston Cole is coming with an army. And there may be other armies, there may be bannermen that they're going to have to rally and send to help Daemon. But yeah, no, this show just continues to just be peak television. This is the best thing we have. I'm sorry if I'm leaning back a little bit. Like I said, my head is killing me. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoy these breakdowns. I like doing this. I like giving my thoughts, and I really do like doing the breakdowns, because then I can really sit down and more scene by scene go through the episode and give you a more deeper thoughts of me, you know, just going, yeah, I liked it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like, I want to give you guys more than that, obviously, because if you spend the time watching this review, you deserve more than that. So anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Let me know what you guys think. Hit all the buttons. I really appreciate it. Please leave a comment down below. I love chatting with y'all. I answer every single comment. Or 99.9% of my comments I try. So I always appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my videos. I really appreciate it. Please, your time is precious. Spend it watching good TV like this instead of watching bad TV like The Acolyte. We'll be watching The Acolyte. That's finishing up, and then I'm gonna watch The Boys when it finishes up. I will put out my season review. It's a little hard to just bounce between everything. I'm almost done with V Rising too, so that'll be off the shelf. And yeah, and I got some thoughts on some other things coming up as well this week. So thank you guys as always. Please, please, please. Your time is precious. Spend it wisely. I thank you for sharing it here, and take care of yourself. Stay safe out there.